Today we're going to dive into the topic of actual low supply for trading cards. A lot of opinions, a lot of misinformation that flies around on this, and supply demand is everything when it comes to pricing for trading cards and collectibles as a whole. And the supply side and the demand side can be a moving target, but a lot of people don't understand this. And so today we are going to dive into a couple of buys that I've made recently, the whys, kind of more of the whys around this, and how I'm looking at the collectible space as we move forward. Before I get started, we've got our Friday shout outs. Card Capsule, for all of your supplies, the best deals on semi-rigids, card sleeves, cases that fit all the different slabs that you've got. Definitely check out Card Capsule. It's payday. Make sure that you get your card supplies at the lowest price, the quality stuff. Check out Card Capsule in my links below. Wooten Sports Cards on Whatnot. My guy's selling out just about every week. Over 11,000, approaching 12,000 followers on Whatnot. He's got 5-star reviews there, so make sure to check out Wooten Sports Cards, especially if you are a football card collector. He's got the goods. JustCollect.com. Leighton Sheldon is out there buying collections, offering great prices. If you do have a collection to sell, JustCollect.com is the place. There's contact information right there. Get your collection appraisal taken care of through JustCollect.com. As we know, a lot of the demand side, it's interesting. The hobby is all about narratives. Man, when you look back over the last 5 years, all sorts of different narratives sprouted up over Marvel PMGs or F1 cards or soccer cards, or, this card is an important card over that card, and everyone is allowed to have their opinions. And we've had a lot of slush money in the space to where you've really kind of seen cards that maybe weren't necessarily important hobby cards, maybe some would call it price discovery, have become important hobby cards. And some might say, well, are they deserving of it? Maybe. We'll find out as time moves on. And then there's also just cards that have always been important hobby cards. The 52 Topps Mickey Mantle is a perfect example of this, where it's always been an important card going back 30, 40 years, and it still is, and now it's just accelerated in price. And of course, that has really kind of put other Mickey Mantle cards up on a pedestal, and they have moved up as well. Now, I want to really talk about supply, because for me, it's become really more paramount that low supply, and I'm not even just talking about low graded supply, I'm talking about how many of a particular card exists. And these have been the types of cards that I really want to focus on. What is unique? What is unique about it? And I started going back about a year. I've shown the card, of course, before. It's the Black Refractor Breeze rookie card. It's numbered out of 100, and this one happens to be autographed. It's the on card, it's the in-person autograph, and then it's got the cool Breeze inscription. Now, I'm a huge Saints fan, huge Drew Brees fan. When I saw this, I looked at this as really kind of the ultimate Breeze collectible for me. Of course, it's a long-term hold. I was looking at kind of like, what is one kind of big card that I would buy that would be kind of the staple, the foundational piece for my Breeze collection? And it would be this card. Before I saw this one, it would just be the regular Black Refractor, and maybe it's in a 9 or a 9.5, or maybe it's even in an 8 to have a copy, because they are limited out of 100, to add to the collection, that being kind of like, hey, this is the foundational piece. This is the big one that I've added in for Breeze. And so, but then when I saw the signed inscription card, it's a one-of-a-kind type collectible. Now, of course, there could be more of these that are made that could, send these Black Refractors. There are 100 of them. I've heard actually that there is another one now that is signed. I don't know if it has the inscription or not. But now you're seeing, Topps is rolling out new product, and what are they doing? They've got Tom Brady Expos cards with a cool inscription. There's a Bill Belichick card with a cool inscription. The new Bowman set that just came out, Bowman Baseball, they've got the blue refractors with the My First Bowman card or My First Bowman auto or whatever inscribed. Wimby has inscription cards. Topps is going all in on the unique inscription. And why is that? Because they're making a ton of cards, and they've got to differentiate. There's got to be that one. And that one, I think that Brady card is still yet to be pulled, but it's that Expos Brady. I think it's a 1 of 1. It signs something like, if baseball doesn't work out, there's always football, or maybe I have it backwards. Anyway, they're adding in kind of a cool, unique factor to it. So that's what prompted me to go for that particular Breeze card, and that will be kind of the king of my Drew Brees collection. I've got volume with Breeze. I've probably got 60 to 80 slabs of different parallels and autographs and things that I really enjoy for him. But I wanted to, instead of just having a lot of volume, wanted to have kind of that one piece, and that is my one piece. Moving to my next big pickup, I did share it on Instagram. It's the 84 star Jordan PSA 5.5. Now again, supply played a big role in me buying this card. For me, I've kind of felt like important Jordan cards are really out of reach at this point. When I look at the rare 90s inserts and those sorts of things, the numbered Jordan stuff from the 90s, and even the 86 Fleer card has gone way up in price. I know it's come back down in price, but still, it's not an inexpensive card, the 86 Fleer Jordan card. The star card, not inexpensive either. If I'm going to put significant money down on an individual card, the fact that there was a very limited supply of the star card, something between 3,000 and 7,000 team bags originally, how many survived out of that, and then you look at the condition. I like the fact that there is a limited supply. Yes, they will come up to auction, and yes, it's not as if they're one of ones or anything. But compared to a lot of, vintage cards, very low supply card for arguably the most important player in the hobby outside of Mickey Mantle. It's really like Michael Jordan, Mickey Mantle, are really kind of the top two, I would say. And so I'm really glad I was able to get the star. And, I did have people comment like, well, I think that card's going to go down. That I'm perfectly happy buying additional copies of that 84 star Jordan. And also I think there's 4 cards from 84 star. There's like a Rookie of the Year. There's an Olympic card. I will be targeting those cards as well. Not as important as the 84 star, but still kind of in that same world. And I like the fact that there is a low original supply of that card. Now you have a limited copy of those that have survived and then grade out well, and now PSA is grading them as well. So I like that card as a kind of buy and hold card. Let me also just say too, when I'm talking about just buying kind of the more rare stuff, this is a separate conversation from just collecting. A lot of people are going to have like their Bobby Hebert cards. Like me, there's going to be a lot of people that are collecting Bobby Hebert, New Orleans Saints cards. They've got binders and binders of New Orleans Saints, or they've got like 87 Topps football complete set. These are separate things where I collect these types of things for fun. I don't have any sort of expectation of future value. The cards I'm talking about today kind of give me more of a reasoning around, hey, I'm putting significant money in, and why I chose those as cards that I feel like can go up in value over time, and it is around lower supply. Next up, we've got arguably the most important culture card, entertainment card that exists, and it is the 93 Skybox Art DeBart card. This, of course, is the redemption card, and even the redemption card, if you see those on eBay, there's one up right now, I think for like $5,000, $9,000. They're very expensive. The redemption cards, there was 400 of them. As you can see, the card is numbered out of 400. There's only believed to be 100 to 150 that were actually redeemed. Now, I have heard that the extras they put in packs or something, or they did release out into the wild, but the ones that were redeemed have a stamp on them. This one has a stamp. It's very difficult to see. Sorry for the glare here. But either way, even if there's 400 out there, they're all different drawings. Some of them similar drawings, but like there's one of the whole Simpsons family. There's some of just Homer. So they're one-of-a-kind pieces of artwork. It's tied 1A, 1B with another card that's lesser known IP as the first ever sketch card. For a lot of non-sports card collectors, whether that be Star Wars or Stranger Things or Marvel cards, sketch cards very popular. In these new Star Wars sets, everyone's got sketch cards. Well, this going back to 1993, one of the original sketch cards, and it is original art. I love on the back too. It says, this genuine one-of-a-kind authentic piece of matte graining original art is certifiably real and undeniably worth every penny you paid for it, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And also, if you're just looking at The Simpsons, the longest running TV show ever, and there's only a handful of Simpsons sets, trading cards that were ever released. So I know some people might say like, oh, but who's going to care about The Simpsons down the road? Again, you're looking at the historical importance of a show and really kind of how it got started and so forth. So it's more about the history, around this particular card and that particular show and what it meant for future shows. and that's why, the card is very important. That's another one. That's another example of a card. It's not an inexpensive card, but if we have some sort of a card downturn, collectibles downturn, if those cards start moving down in price, I'm happy to buy multiples of that card in the same fashion I would with the Jordan Star. Now, I'm going to bring up a card here that I think it's important because it is a very rare card, low supply card, but it's not necessarily a hobby important card. Everyone likes to follow the herd when it comes to, oh, I need to buy this or buy into that. We see it, oh my God, we see it all over the place with a lot of this new product and new prospects on the sports side. This is one of the more rare Stranger Things cards that exists, and I got it for $1,500. And some might say, oh my gosh, $1,500 for a Stranger Things card is absolutely insane. Well, compare that to the sports card side of things, and it's a drop in the bucket. You can't get an Ant-Man autograph for, less than $1,500, and he's going to have a zillion autographs. This card is numbered out of 10. It's the only dual auto from Season 1, 2018 Topps, and it's the creators, the Duffer Brothers, the twins, that have signed it on card. And again, it's the only dual auto. There are no triple autos that are in that 2018 Topps Season 1, Series 1 set. And so, again, yes, it's a lot of money for a Stranger Things card, but I can get one of the best Stranger Things cards for a fraction of what you can get on the sports card side. I can't buy 3 jumbo boxes of 2024 Bowman. I could get this, or I could almost afford 3 jumbo boxes of the new Bowman baseball product. What a joke. Are we serious? So again, I'm happy buying something that doesn't necessarily have demand today, but I do like the IP or the player long term or whatever the thing is, but it has a low supply. It's organically rare. It hasn't been, mass produced. And now we're kind of looking more at the condition scarcity. And there's nothing wrong with that either, whether that be, vintage cards or 80s cards or whatever that is. The idea of getting rookie cards for vintage players, legendary players, that's all cool too. I have those as well, but I really want to add more pieces to my collection that you just don't see every day. When you go to card shows, card shops, we're seeing and talking about a lot of those same kind of important cards in quotation marks. And that's completely fine. Examples of a couple of cards that I will eventually own that I want to have that I think are very important hobby cards. 2 examples, 2000 Bowman Chrome Brady rookie card and the 86 Fleer Jordan card. I love those cards. Fantastic. They're available all the time, so I'm not in a huge rush, and I'm still trying to figure out what grade do I want. Really got to sit down and figure that part out, and I also want to see how many more are going to be graded. We're going through the biggest grading boom of all time for sports cards and collectibles. They're still grading 86 Fleer Jordans. They're still grading 2000 Bowman Chrome Brady rookies. So I've got time, and the higher supply, and if demand wanes some off of that increasing supply, what does that mean? Of course, prices move downward. So again, not a huge rush. I want to see how it plays out. Really, with my thinking here, I'm going beyond necessarily just move to GOATs in quotation mark or move to important hobby cards. I'm going really another layer deep and trying to figure out, okay, at what price point are these kind of lower supply cards, and could they be underpriced based on all of these variables, and trying to find value where it's tough to find value. We've had a big boom in collectibles, and even with a lot of the prices moving downward, it's still expensive. It's still very expensive. So we will see how it plays out, but wanted to kind of dive into a little bit of the recent pickups, the recent strategy. And really, this is a strategy over the last 6 to 12 months that I've been looking to get into more kind of defined foundational pieces, and I'm doing that now. And it feels great. It feels really good. I've still got a lot of the good volume that I do want. And then I have been prospecting on some of the Bowman U stuff. That will be Sunday's video. I did get a request, a comment that was like, hey, can you dive in a little bit more on what you've been doing on the Bowman U side? And that will be Sunday. How I've been doing pretty well flipping cards there with the Bowman U stuff, and how it's also added joy to my hobby experience. So I'll share that in Sunday's video. Friends, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You're all amazing. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you again later.